How can you see sound? For example, using equalizer in your music system. Is it possible to spot the effects of the sound? Yes, there are several ways to do that, and one of them, a very unusual one, is about to be shown to us in the Institute of Mechanics. It's called Chladni figures. The first experiments exploring how powder or sand moves on a vibrating membrane date back to the late 18th century. German physicist Ernst Chladni sprinkled some sand onto a horizontally supported metal plate and ran a violin bow along its edge. The sand assembled into a certain pattern. One more bow movement, one more figure. Today, we won't need the bow. The setup is a little bit different, but we'll see the result nonetheless. This is the structure of our membrane. It's basically a smooth metal sheet, rigidly fixed along its perimeter with regular loudspeakers sitting underneath. The speakers are not connected to the sheet in any way, so it's only exposed to air vibrations coming from the speakers. To see the effect, we'll put something fine-grained on top of the sheet. Sand suits our needs quite well. The speakers installed underneath the black metal plate are turned on. The frequency can be adjusted manually in the range from 10 to 150 hertz. And the sand on the plate start forming a pattern. When a metal plate is exposed to a certain frequency, it reaches resonance. Imagine a pendulum which you can swing. If at a certain point you push it or just give it a little nudge, the pendulum's amplitude will increase. It's like a swing set, like when we were kids, we used to go on the swings. Yes, you just have to push at the right moment. The same thing happens to our plate membrane. Sound waves start pushing it with a particular frequency, like a pendulum or a swing set. Resonance occurs, and the vibrating plate tosses the sand up at some places higher than in the others. It becomes clearer from a lateral point of view, and in some areas, the plate doesn't move at all. That's where most of the sand grains are collected. The stronger the plate oscillates, the higher the sand jumps. And since oscillations force the plate to bend, sometimes sand is thrown in all directions, and sometimes the plate goes down. So in the areas of maximum amplitude, which are called anti-nodes, the sand starts moving away. So basically in areas where the plate is bulging, where it's bulging and sagging, the sine wave oscillates both up and down. And those areas where the plate remains almost stationary are called nodes. That's where the sand is piling up, because there's no movement of the plate. Sand can be substituted with any other free-flowing granular material like sugar, salt, colored talcum powder, or ground grain, as long as its particles are small and non-sticky. Also, the acoustic signal has to be of a particular frequency, which is impossible to predict beforehand. It all depends, as they say. Every plate vibrates in its own way with its own frequencies. That's why the resulting Chladni figures are unique, much like our fingerprints. Is the number of these potential patterns finite? It's infinite. I guess the upper limit is determined by the power of radiation, by the strength with which you are pushing at the plate. And also, when frequencies are extremely high, you have your energy dissipating. That is, vibrations are transforming into heat. Is it possible to assemble such an apparatus at home? I would imagine it is. If you have an amplifier, a computer, a thing you want to be oscillating, and some sand, so it's very handmade, so to speak. Very doable, yes.